What is up, guys? It's Verns back here again with another Supercoach video. This time it's the NBA Round 6 review. Honestly, surprised we went up. I thought we were going to go down again. I thought it was another rough week. Things just didn't pan out our way. Went up 102 spots to 2,488, so it's okay. We're working on it. We're heading in the right direction. Gotta stay positive. We scored 891, and that's why I thought we were heading in the wrong direction because it wasn't the greatest week. We can jump into the team and see how it looked overall. I think if we look at it, the most obvious mistake, I'm going to zoom out just so we can sort of see the whole team at once. We did end up going, obviously, Duran over Cunningham. Now, that wasn't a choice. I couldn't afford Cunningham and Towns. Um, the other consideration was Ant, but we decided against it, and Duran obviously gets injured after 2 games. So, a little bit disappointing there. There's not really much we can do. Gets injured in the third game, so like he got some points, but doesn't really count. And just really, really unfortunate there. So that really held us back because we were missing a premium on field. We also had not the greatest on field players with the Cowan obviously dropping out, but then Donovan Mitchell with a 69 over 3 games. Not great. Had one really good game and then two subpar games. Um, yeah, he comes into a good 4 game week, so that's why we did hold on to him. We did end up captaining Jokic, which at the end of the day, he was our second highest scoring player, so that wasn't a bad thing. It just would have always been better if we brought in someone like a Cunningham, we managed to captain him, or something along those lines. But it is what it is. I'm happy with the structure of the team. I'm happy with the direction we're heading, and this week we are stacked. So this week is probably one of the funnest weeks is going to be in NBA. And what I mean by that is if we just bring up the fixture, so I've got it here once again, shout out Arson Dragon for his amazing work. I'm just going to full screen it. We can see that so many teams have a 4 game week and there's very few with a 4-3. Now it'd be great if you can target those guys on a 4-3, but even if you don't, anyone that has a 4-3, they go 3-3. So 4-3-3, 4-3-3, 4-3-3, 4-3-3, 4-3-3. And if you go other guys that have a 4-2-4, you end up with the same amount of games over 3 weeks. Now, we can't just neglect the 8 round week, but what it does mean is it opens up this round 7 to just pick absolutely anyone, really. Like, as long as you're not picking out Memphis, OKC, Phoenix, or Sacramento players, like it's pretty nuts. You get to basically pick any other team, and I think you can justify it. So your best players, your favorite players, bring them on in, watch them go ham, and it's gonna be awesome. So this week, speaking of which, we did have the return of Tyler Hero, so it makes somebody relevant for Miami. We did have the return of Giannis, so that was great. Look, me personally, I love the target the schedule, so I love the idea of Atlanta, Chicago, Houston, Miami, New York, and then we have San Antonio, Toronto, and Washington. Now, out of those teams, I think the ones that I really like the idea of, sorry, Minnesota's also there, is, Miami of Hero returns. That's definitely a play there. Sengun is definitely an option from Houston, maybe even KD. You can obviously look at Giddy from Chicago, and then Atlanta's had JJ going nuts. So, yeah, super fun week because there's just so much we get to do. I do think it's important to target the guys with the 3 games on the 8 weeks because you don't want to just neglect your Supercoach Cup. I did manage to get the win in my Supercoach Cup this week, and I still want to have the best team week in week out, and I think a 2 week plan is probably better than a 3 week plan. So that's what I'm thinking there. Now I'm not sure of the injury on Duran, and I don't know how long he's going to be out for, but I think I need to trade him. Unfortunately, if I'm looking at the rest of these players, I think Jenkins is unfortunately he's done as we sort of expected, as we are talking about with Boz. Like he had very limited time as it was. Cunningham's returned, and he's sort of out of the rotation. Edge can. I think was injured, missed 2 games, and not the greatest game back, but that's okay. I think he's still holdable. But you can sort of see it with most of my rookies. Most of my rookies have sort of capped out on their prices and their break evens. And we brought in Queen this week, and of course, he goes 80 and then 106, and then we bring him in and he gets 30. Like, that's just as it is. Sorry, he actually got 50. Unfortunate there, but yeah, I think most of these players, nearly every single one of them has a 4 game week for me, so I'm super set. We're going to be leaving the seat on Joker because it's Joker at the end of the day. Like, we've seen what he does, even as a guy playing 3 games next week. He was my second highest scoring player and probably the safest captain, and coming into a 4 game week, obviously the only option there is. Now, what I do think is with Doran out of my team, I think we obviously need to target some cash gen, so we can move Kalkbrenner down on field if we really want. Don't have to, but I think if we do look at the break-evens game, we did see someone go nuts, and the answer was Huff. Huff was a player that a lot of people were looking at starting this year because he was meant to have the role, but he didn't really get it as of yet. So what we're going to do now is we're going to bring Huff in because he's now officially got that role and he's looking nuts. Wells, someone we started but finally had a bounce back week and looked really good. And then I think when I look at the rest of these rookies, none personally jump out to me. I mean, Murray's not even a rookie at 11 mil. Unless you have, obviously, Boz pointing out some really obvious ones. I mean, he pointed them out last week. Really, really good options who did really well this week, I'm pretty sure, actually. I can't even find them when I scroll down this list, which means their break-even isn't crazy low anymore, but they probably earned some money as to why that is the case. I'm just going to quickly look at players real quick. So let's just lock that in because I know I'm going to be doing that. But who are the players he was talking about? He talked about two players, one from Memphis, one from, I think, Watson, and Junior from Memphis. I just want to quickly see what they did because I'm pretty sure they did well. And players I would have loved to brought in if I didn't have to force in. God, where is it? Denver, there we go. If I didn't have to force in Queen, but I kind of got forced into forcing in Queen, unfortunately. So it wasn't Jaren Jackson Jr., it was... So Watson's there, yeah, look, 66, actually not as good as I thought it was. I thought he started really hot, but clearly slowed down in the next few games. 66 isn't bad, though, still earned a milli, pretty happy with that. It was, yeah, Vince William Jackson, Jr. Both ended up pretty average at the end of the day, so maybe not the biggest deal that we didn't get them. But I'm pretty sure their game ones, they looked really good, and I was like, damn. But clearly, it evened out. So next play, yeah, the question is, who's on field? Half a Kalkbrenner. I think Kalkbrenner has clearly shown himself as super reliable, so I will be playing him on field. Cowan, as we sort of mentioned at the end of his break-even, also only a 3-game week, unlike the rest of sort of my team. Not that really matters. I think I really just need to be looking at the break-even. So I already mentioned I think Jenkins is out just because his role is now dead. So he comes out of my team. And then we've got a few players here that I wanted to consider. So I mentioned JJ. Obviously, I really want to be getting on top of JJ. He's just been really, 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 really good. And then also Giddy as well as an option. So Giddy's ended up quite expensive, been pretty good in pretty back-to-back weeks. So Giddy's the obvious one there, but yeah, if I'm going out rookies, I'm not going to be able to get, obviously, Giddy and somebody. I could go Mitchell out just because I'm annoyed with his game, but I think I do hold on to him. Not the greatest fixture, but at the same time, it doesn't matter. It's a 4-game week this week. Everyone has the 2-game next week, so it's not really a big deal. And then after that, technically, he goes 4-4. So in reality, holding Mitchell makes sense, and trading him is me just being a little bit salty that he didn't have the greatest outcome this week. Obviously, I'm holding on to Towns. He's got the good fixture. Avija's got an incredible fixture, so we just leave him as it is. 4-2-4. Sort of same with Queen. A lot of 4s. Denver go into a crazy amount of 4s. I wonder if it's worth... I mean, Denver has a 4-2, don't they? Is it Jamal Murray? Is that the guy from Denver that was pretty nuts in some of his games? He was pretty nuts in some of his games. I think I want JJ, so the question is, how do I get the JJ? I think when I look at the break-evens, I think it's got to be Cowan next as the guy. As I mentioned, also a 3-game week, so that kind of break-even on a 3-game week is pretty bad. JJ's clearly been way too impressive, so we will bring him in, and then we've got to get a rookie in, actually, so it doesn't actually matter about fixture at this point. It's who can I actually afford? So if we jump to the break-evens, who are guys that actually played? I can't even afford Quinton Jackson if I wanted to. Yeah, no, none of these guys stand out for me, so we're going to quickly rotate Edgecombe up. Wells, you're gone, it doesn't matter. Oh, not the greatest here either. What if I moved Nuppel up? Are we finding anyone here? Nah, no one really standing out to me. I could always move Flag up. Anyone that's gone bananas or had a good start or had a good game has already increased too much in price to actually consider in reality. So yeah, it's a great question as to who will I actually be going here. The good news is, as we can see from the DPP, I can literally go like anyone. I think Flag on field for Queen's going to be the play. Sorry, I say that. Obviously, Queen at the end of the day was really good for the last few weeks, and a down game this week shouldn't just cut him off. But I don't know, Flag's like actually one of the best players in his team already, which is kind of ludicrous. um, Man, when I look at these averages are bad, and I am not liking the look of bringing in any of these rookies. Absolutely any of them. Jones played and got 34, which is cool. And there is a fair few injuries in Denver, so do I just go for the absolute baseline rookie in Jones? It's definitely an option. I guess my other thing here is I'm kind of forcing JJ in, which is really, 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 really expensive, obviously. I mean, not really forcing him, but I really do want him. If I was to go away from JJ, there is other players, that I could bring in. Let's just flex him down. That are still really good players. That I'm kind of overlooking at the end of the day. So let's quickly look at Atlanta. So it was, Chicago. We talked about Houston. I mean, technically Washington were there, Toronto was there, New York is there, Minnesota are there. I think they're the main teams that have got that 4-3. So, I mean, yeah, instead of JJ, I could go down to a Sengun, who has kind of dropped off, where JJ's kind of exploded. He's gone the opposite direction. Don't think I'm sold on Sa. I think this is actually a 2-game week he did this, so that's not too bad in reality. And KD obviously just isn't reliable enough, I think. Did I click Charlotte? I did. I was meant to click Chicago. Whoopsie daisy. Technically brings Giddy into the fray as well because he's got that power forward. Sorry, I got the point guard open anyway. Yeah, super hard decision to make. I guess if I go JJ, I have to force a really poor rookie. If I'm going, even if I go someone like a Sengun, I'm still getting a pretty poor rookie in reality. Because I just don't have that much money. It's just not that much money I've got to use, unfortunately. I could move somebody else like a Kalkbrenner, but I think holding on to the on-field options who are still making money is probably worth it, more than these guys that are kind of peaked in price and are heading back down in the opposite direction, like a Cowan sort of is. So, yeah, I need to start talking about this, just lock something in. I just want to see how Sengun actually looks in the team. So if I'm bringing him in, 7.7 mil is actually really, really, really good in reality. If I just go to clear filter, players I can afford, what have we got? Yeah, Harper did return this week too. This is not a big deal. Fizz has been fine. It's definitely way more options, and the options are definitely better. So I don't really mind doing this at all, which is good. But then I can also once again shuffle these positions. What other options do we have? There's the call out from our boy Boz, but only on a 3-game week. What's his break even at? It's not even that low at 29. But that's fine. What if we flip down again? Yeah, nobody's standing out to me here. At least had Harper on the last one when I was up at Harper before. I mean, how expensive is Harper? Is it even an option if I wanted him? Nah, he's too expensive if I go for JJ. Alright, I think I have to just sort of accept this and lock it in. I am not going Sengun, I gotta be honest. JJ's form's just way, way, way too good to pass up sort of thing. So we're gonna flip him down. Sorry, flag down, bring in JJ. And then we just gotta pick someone here that I can afford. I mean, Demon's not really making money, but he's a player. He'd be a player. And we're looking at averages. It's pretty important to get a guy with a decent enough average, because then they'll continue to make money, hopefully. I think it just ends up being Demon. I think it ends up being Demon. Yeah, I think I just put him in the team for the hell of it. Not really happy with this as a bench option. I feel like this is a little bit of a sideways where I'm not really getting much of an upgrade, because yeah, I'm literally moving Jenkins to this. This isn't actually doing anything for my team. This is actually just kind of a loss. Like, at this point, am I not just not going out Jenkins at this point and just holding Jenkins if I want someone bad? Like, I definitely don't think holding Jenkins is the play, but I'm just saying hypothetically, that's like, what more is it really doing for me? Like, I could be moving a premium around or trying to move someone else around and doing something better than this. I think Cockburner for his money is definitely too worth it. Yeah, as I said, this is the only thing. It's like, I think, do I have to give up JJ? Oh my goodness, no. Last week I had to give up Cunningham and it absolutely destroyed my week in reality. Maybe I need to stop tunneling on JJ. We sort of talked about there being really good other teams in reality too. What do Maxi doesn't have anything. Okay. New York. We could go Ants a week late, but we could do it. Could just go straight Giddy and ignore JJ. And the extra Giddy money, does that make a difference? I always think Jenkins needs to go out more than anyone else. If we go Gideon, could just do a straight move like that. And if I'm going Cowan in, what about points this week? Anyone I can afford for points this week? I guess Wells. Wells did go bananas actually. Has a low break even. Sort of the guy we were talking about as an option. God, that doesn't feel good at all. And unfortunately not getting a power forward means Flag gets stuck up here, which is really, really disgusting. I prefer Flag on field 100%. 100%. How do I get Giddy up here? No, Giddy, go back. Go back in my team. Okay. How do I move Giddy up to the small forward? Get Wells down on the bench? Because I don't feel too bad if that's the case then. I actually think this is probably the team I'm going to go with, guys. I know it took a real roundabout way to get there, but it was the only way I could really see this happening. So if we're moving... Oh, come on, reset every time? Oh my goodness. What if I just do update? Do I need to do update? Will update work better? So update Wells. Bring in Giddy. Let's just do someone hypothetical for a second just to make this work. What am I doing with break evens? Let's just do that. Let's just bring in Quinton. Cool. Save that. And then we're going to actually go Quinton to Edgecombe, Quinton out. Jump back to break evens and Wells in. Okay. Managed to make that work in the most roundabout way possible, but we got there, guys. Yeah, we got there. Yeah, Shepard's got a good fixture rolling. So 4-4, 4-4, 4, 4-4, 4-4-4. Okay. So we should have a pretty good week this week. I don't know how I feel about not picking JJ. I feel like that could be really detrimental. And Giddy's a little bit of a yo-yo. He's really like, he's hot. When he's good decent. And I feel like his floor is pretty high in the sense that he can get 20s, but he obviously gets 20s more than we would like. But yeah, I think we'll just lock this in, see how it goes. Team looks alright. We have 4 rookies on field, and all 4 of them are pretty competent in my opinion. And then we just need to keep moving forward with an upgrade. I mean, at the end of the day, if I look at my team, did I end up making an upgrade this week? No, we did not upgrade. We went 2 rookies out for 2 rookies, and just decided it was on the premiums, which makes me a little sad. I mean, we need to be upgrading the team as well. You need to obviously try and make money, you know, need to go these guys down to rookies, put money in the bank. At the end of the day, you know, we paid down. Giddy went down in price, but we got more expensive rookies. I don't know if that's going to be worth it. Yeah, Wells is obviously more expensive than the guys I moved out. Huff has at least got a good break even. Well, we'll see how it goes, team. Hopefully it works out well. Maybe I should check out a bit more of this fixture and see if, oh my gosh, Huff into Jokic. Jokic isn't really a defensive player, but still don't like the idea of that. Huff into Chicago. I feel like Chicago's big was out last time I checked, and Sacramento, who have had Sabonis out for ages, so maybe Huff can be okay this week to play on field. Cleveland this week, Mobley, who's like defensive player of the year, so maybe not. I don't know. We'll talk to Boz tonight. We'll figure out if any of this actually makes sense or if I end up reversing it all. Anyway, till next time, guys. Peace. Later.